Hello students, in this video we will discuss compensation management, next part, that is wage and salary administration. This side Dr. Renu Sharma, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, ST College, Ambala, Kent. Wage and salary administration refers to establishment and implementation of sound policies and practices of employee compensation. It includes areas such as job evaluation, wage and salary structure, establishing rules, control of compensation, cost and other related items. First, we will start with job evaluation. Job evaluation is the cornerstone of formal wage and salary administration and plays key roles like it is most effective means of determining internal pay and relationships. It can be used as instrument for affecting the company's basic pay policies. It gives useful control over wage and salary costs. It assists in meeting day-to-day problems. It measures job worth in an administrative sense rather than an economic or social one. So this is all job evaluation. Through this we evaluate the job. Now, basic area of information pertinent in almost all job analysis. These are fundamental purpose of the job, work assigned or performed, importance of job elements and its relation to the objective of the operation, working relationship including supervision, specific methods, equipments and or techniques which must be used, climate of job including objectives and working environment, conditions under which work must be performed. So this is all about job analysis. Through these points we analyze the job. So what are the wage and salary administration? Wage and salary administration aims to establish and maintain an equitable wage and salary structure and a labor cost structure. So earlier we have discussed what is wage and salary, and now it is clear to you that what is wage and salary. Now what are the objective of salary and wage administration? To establish a fair and equitable compensation offering similar pay for similar work. That is, next is to attract competent and qualified personnel. Through wage and salary we attract competent and qualified personnel. To retain present employee by keeping wage levels in tune with the competitive units, and to improve motivation and morale of employees, and to improve union management relation. Through effective wage and salary structure we motivate our employees to project a good image of the company and to comply with legal needs relating to wages and salaries. Next is to establish job sequence and lines of promotion whenever applicable. Now what we will discuss about the factor affecting wage and salary. First we will discuss the external factor. In external factor there are demand and supply, cost of living, trade union bargaining power, government legislation, psychological and social factor, economy, prevailing market rates. So first we will discuss the demand and supply. So demand and supply forces operate at the national and local level and determine organizational wage structure. Next is cost of living. Wage rates are directly influenced by cost of living of a place. Workers will accept a wage which may ensure them a minimum standard of living. Next is the trade union bargaining power. Wage rates are also influenced by bargaining power of trade union. Stronger the trade union, higher will be the wage rate. Next is the government legislation. To improve working conditions of workers, government may pass a legislation for fixing minimum wages for workers. In India, Minimum Wage Act 1948 was passed to empower government to fix minimum wages of workers. So next is psychological and social factor. Psychologically, the level of compensation is perceived as a measure of success in life. Management should take into consideration the psychological need of employee while fixing the wage rate, so that employee take pride in their work. Next is economy. Economy also has an impact on wage and salary fixation. Next is prevailing market rates. No enterprise can ignore prevailing comparative wage rate paid in the industry or the other concern at the same place will form the base for fixing wage rate. Next is internal factor. Internal factor, these are ability to pay, job requirement, managerial strategy, and the employee. Ability to pay means whatever the organization can pay, right? The ability of the organization to pay, and that is also a major factor to deciding the wage structure. Then is job requirement. Basic wages depend on largely on difficulty level or the physical and mental effort required in a particular job. On that basis, we design the wage structure. Then is management strategy. What is the management strategy, or what company pursue, that it should determine what remuneration level for its employee. And then is the employee factor. Employee factors like what is the performance level of an employee, the seniority level, the experience, or the potential. So these are the factors which affect the wage and salary structure, or designing of wage and salary structure. So next we will discuss the wage and salary determination process. So how we will determine the wage and salary structure. So what are the steps involved? First we will analyze the job, that is job analysis. In job analysis, it describes the duties, responsibilities, working conditions, and interrelationships between the job as it is and the other job with which it is associated. Then conduct the salary survey. Salary survey provide many kind of useful information about differences in wage level for particular kind of occupations. Next is group a similar job into pay grade. That is, pay grade is comprised of job of approximately equal difficulty or importance as determined by the job evaluation. Next is the price each pay grade. Assigning pay rates to each pay grade is usually accomplished with a wage curve. The purpose of wage curve is to show the relationship between the value of job as determined by one of the job evaluation method and the current average pay rates for the grades. Next is the fine-tune pay rates. Ranges imply different level of corresponding pay rates within each pay grade. Fine-tuning may include the developing rate ranges and correcting out of the line rates. Next is wage administration rule. It is considered advisable in the interest of the concern of the employee that information about average salaries and ranges in the salaries group should be made known to the employees concerned, as secrecy in this matter may create the dissatisfaction. Now comes the theories of wages. Theories of wages. In theories of wages, first we will discuss the Ricardo's subsistence theory, that is from 1772 to 1823. David Ricardo was the father of subsistence theory. Another name of this theory is the iron law of wages. In this theory, Ricardo suggests that an organization should decide the wages at their subsistence level of the workers. Adam Smith's wage fund theory, that is from 1723 to 1790. Adam Smith assumed that wealthy persons have fund of surplus wealth. As a result of their savings, wages are paid out of these funds. Next is Marx surplus value theory of money, that is from 1818 to 1883. This theory was given by Karl Marx, in which labor was to be treated as an article of commerce, which could be purchased on the payment of subsistence price. Next is workers' residual claimant theory, that is from 1840 to 1897. According to Francis A. Walker, labor is the residual claimant after the payment of everyone, that is the different factors of production like land, capital or entrepreneur. Whatever this surplus is remained after paying everyone, that represent the wages. Then is Wicksteed and Clark's marginal productivity theory, given by John Bates Clark and Philip Henry. They both propounded this theory. According to this theory, wages depend upon the demand for and supply of labor. Then comes the bargaining theory. John Davidson developed this theory. Her wage level is determined by the bargaining power of employers and their association versus employees and their trade unions. Next is compensation theory. When employees are dissatisfied with their jobs, their desire for money increases and attractiveness of job decreases. The low level of job attractiveness gives rise to undesirable consequences such as turnover, absenteeism and job dissatisfaction. Next is expectancy theory. Wierum's expectancy theory focused on the link between reward and behavior motivation. According to this theory, valence is the result of instrumentality and expectancy. Next is the equity theory. Elliot Jacques has been the leading advocate for equity theory. This theory seeks to relate employees' behavior to their perception of equity and inequity in their compensation. His analysis leans heavily on his view that effective reward system must relate pay to level of work as defined by the time span of discretion. Next is agency theory. Agency theory focuses on the divergent interest and goals of the organization, stakeholders, and the way employee remuneration can be used to align these interests or goals. The remuneration payable to employees is the agency cost. Next is investment theory. H.L. Gitelman developed this theory. The individual worker's investment consists of education, training and experience that a worker has invested in a lifetime, and the worker's compensation is fixed by the rate of return on that investment. Workers can control their level of compensation. Means their education or their training or their experience is being treated as an investment, and worker can charge, the worker can take the return on this investment by compensation plan. Then is standard of living theory. According to standard of living theory, wages are determined not by subsistence level but by standard of living to which a class of laborer becomes habituated. Means the company has to pay according to the standard of living of those workers. Then demand and supply theory. Just as the price of a commodity is determined by the demand and supply, the rate of wages can also be determined with the help of demand and supply. The wages will be determined at the point where demand and supply both are equal to each other. This theory was given by Alfred Marshall. Then comes the behavioral theory. Norms, tradition, custom, goodwill and social pressure influence the wages structure. Wages are best motivator for workers. Thank you. And next we will discuss the wage and salary methods. Thank you.